Look, one thing we haven't talked about, even as a group too much, is Game of Thrones, okay?
Yeah.
We've all loved Game of Thrones. Like, it's always been, the thing that we look forward to every now and again when it comes out, right? I've loved it. It was revolutionary when it first came out. It came out, and I get the nudity. Like, when it first started, I was like, bro, what? Like, it's on HBO and Nazam Chi.
Yeah.
And, like, thing is, we drew a connection to it. We all had our own favorite characters. It wasn't like
Tyrion's the man.
Tyrion's the man. Like the thing
was
about
the
Game
man.
of Thrones, everyone had their own favorite character. Like if
Yeah.
you watch Breaking Bad, it's either Heisenberg or Jesse. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Okay, Breaking Bad's great.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking talking.
Yeah,
Breaking
yeah.
Bad, I've always said, is the TV show that every TV show aspires to be like.
sure,
Okay.
that's a fact.
Anyway, give me 5 reasons you don't like Game of Thrones, and you can jump in as well.
Well, before the season, I have friends who don't watch Game of Thrones, so I would go to them and be like, listen, you still need to watch Game of Thrones. Like, the first 4 seasons is just fucking amazing. Like, there are some problems with it, like, but it's all things that they so they couldn't add everything from the book, right?
Okay.
So they did remove some things that I agreed with, but they also removed some things that I disagreed with, right?
Okay.
But for the most part, seasons 1 to 4 of Game of Thrones is just like really great. Like it's amazing. Like the show writers knew how to adapt it from a book. They knew how to make it into a TV show.
These were the same show writers, right?
Yes,
The same producers.
Guys, same guys that George R. R. Martin gave the show rights to and stuff.
Speaking to the mic.
But then what happened was, season 8 came out, and I can't recommend that shit to
Wait. So
anyone.
you're telling me from season 8 you can't recommend it?
No,
No,
the thing is, I've been watching this since 2011, and right now I feel like I've wasted my entire time. Because it doesn't matter how good your first act is, your second act is. If your final act is shit, it's a shit show. It just is. For example, like you're watching the seasons 1 to 4 is a waste because it's all that character development, all that writing, all that plot points that.
Okay,
And then
yeah.
in the end, it goes nowhere. It's
It's
a
like-
wall. You hit a wall.
Listen.
You're stuck in the maze. What's the point? You don't get any. What do you get out of Game of Thrones season 8? What do you learn from Game of Thrones season 8? Nothing.
Dude, it's like the finale of How
How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother.
And Dexter, unfortunately.
So bad.
Thing is, like, you're saying it's a waste of your time completely.
No, I don't think people should watch Game of Thrones. People who have not seen Game of Thrones should not watch Game of Thrones.
Seriously, but bro, what about all the good shit from season 1
But
to 4?
what's the point?
It doesn't matter anymore.
Doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter, man. Like me watching the Tyrion court scene, me watching Viper vs the Mountain.
I'll just
like,
put it on the scene on it. I'll just go on YouTube, search for the scene, and I'll show my.
But
friends that.
without context, that's some
Okay,
bullshit.
Battle
sure.
of Bastards, man.
Battle of the Bastards is probably the best battle scene I've ever seen.
Best thing I've ever seen.
Really?
It's so amazing.
seen-
I would
that.
take Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, the
over
last
that.
episode 3,
Yeah, man.
amazing.
Yeah, I'll take that over that.
You know what? While she was saying that, while we were talking about that, I had Aragorn's fucking face in my head,
dude,
man.
He's the man.
What
He's the
a
fucking,
fucking
man.
guy, man.
And the so my reasons for why Game of Thrones were shit, like the top 5. Well, I have a lot for season 8. Like there's just so many. Every scene.
Give me from descending order. Start from
So
number 5.
Fifth reason. Jon Snow goes from actually common sense, honorable man to the biggest cuck in Westeros.
Game of
My
Cups.
queen! That's all he.
I swear to God, it's Game of Cups.
My queen.
Yeah, my
She is
queen.
my queen.
You're my queen. Like I just don't get it. What happened? Like what happened? Like I just want to know
The
what
only
happened.
good thing about Jon Snow was his bravery, and that was thrown out of the window.
That's so true. I thought you were gonna
Bro,
say he was brave in season.
No!
Fam, nowhere was he brave.
This is how you know Jon Snow's not Jon Snow. He goes and talks to Tyrion. Spoilers alert. And he's like, listen, I know what the queen did. Oh, I'm sorry. I know what my aunt did was, unjustifiable and shit. But then he goes on to defend her anyways. I'm like, but you just said it's unjustifiable. So why are you trying to defend her now to Tyrion?
Love.
Like he just does things without any sense. You
Yeah.
know, like the second he saw Dany like freaking kill the people, that's where he should have just taken his sword out and just gone.
Yeah.
Because that's what we were led to believe. He did that with Ygritte. Like he put his Night's Watch and shit over her. He was an honorable man. He did what he had to do.
Yeah, and not only Jon Snow, bro. The theme of Game of Thrones
Yeah.
is that love is redundant in a lot of
Exactly.
cases. Like
Exactly.
you see Lord Baelish kill the people he loves.
Exactly.
And
But then he gets killed because he loves another person. Like that's my problem with Game of Thrones is that it's going somewhere and then goes back. Like Jaime Lannister, perfect example. That's my fourth reason, by the way.
Second cuck in the show.
Yeah, he is.
He actually was, in my opinion,
He was
Yeah.
in a good arc. Like he was
the best.
going
In my
somewhere.
opinion, was the best arc.
And then he just went back.
Yep.
Cersei.
That made no sense, man.
There's a scene-
What was the point of the Brienne thing, man?
I'll explain. So in earlier seasons, there's literally a scene where he's in the bath with Brienne, and he's like recovering from his wounds, and it's the first time we actually see him talk about. I don't know if it's the first time, but I think it was a really time where he actually talked seriously about why he's a Kingslayer and why he did it, and he was explaining to Brienne. He was like, "Yeah, the Mad King came in, told me like kill your father and all these people, tens and thousands of people, and the whole time we thought he was this heartless guy, this cold bastard that pushed Bran off a fucking tower in season 1. That's literally the first thing we see from him, right? We don't see him talking about this, but then that was such an amazing moment, and now when I look to it, and then in season 8. Flashback to season 8 where he's talking to Tyrion, and Tyrion's like, what about all the people that are gonna die in King's Landing? He's like, I don't give a fuck. What do you mean you don't give a fuck? You literally spent 7 seasons telling everyone you gave a shit, and now you're like, fuck that? How? What part of the fuck that, when you fucked Brienne, is that where you said fuck that? Like what, I don't get it. Like, none of the things he says or did in season 8 made sense to his character.
Exactly.
Except, like, the first 2 episodes where he actually goes and apologizes, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. He actually goes to Bran and he's like, listen, man, I'm so sorry. Like, that was amazing. Like, I actually liked that part. But then now it's like useless because like what's the point of that anymore? You know what I mean? Because the resolution is he still goes back to his sister and dies for no reason.
It's terrible, man. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Another third reason, what's the guy's name that the crazy Greyjoy guy? The
Big Dick Greyjoy.
Euron.
Euron. In the books, Euron Greyjoy is actually amazing.
Yeah,
he's
like,
actually
he's
evil.
a wizard or
yeah,
something.
yeah, he's an evil motherfucker. He's traveled all around like the whole world, and he's just crazy, powerful, smart. Not a comedic joke, not a comic relief. Like the Euron Greyjoy from the show is not Euron Greyjoy. That's not, because. Yeah.
And the thing when he says, "I killed Jaime Lannister,"
Who cares?
he forgot that he killed a dragon.
Yeah.
Dragon.
What the fuck? You killed a dragon and
By
you're
the way-
comparing it to a guy with one hand.
Dude,
Fuck
that
off!
was the weirdest shit ever. Like, how the fuck do you shoot like 3 arrows into the dragon? Not all 3 arrows hit the dragon, right? From like crazy distance, right?
Yeah.
But then when the dragon.
Okay, no. I'm gonna give a justification for that,
Why?
man. Look, every time a dragon got shot,
Yeah.
It was alone.
It was alone, or actually no, it was alone. It was always alone. That's okay.
Yeah.
So when the mother of dragons is riding it, it doesn't get hit, bro. She's got the moves when she's on it, man.
Okay, you're right. You're right. I agree with that, but the problem is that the ship was like so far off. There's this is like, imagine you have a bow and arrow and you're trying to shoot a plane. Can you do it? Absolutely not. You can't do it, especially 3 times in a row, right? Like my problem is that I don't mind dragons dying. I don't like in the alternative universe. I don't mind any of the plot points happening in Game of season 8. But the problem is they came out of nowhere. They weren't paced enough. They weren't written enough.
Pace was so bad.
But that's what the thing. Like seasons 1 to 4, there's literally a season where you have Arya and the Hound go from one city to the next city. In season 6 to 8, it's all like, 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
4
so
weeks
true,
later.
So true.
Oh shit! Now we're here.
It was rushed.
Everything was rushed about it. Like nothing. Honestly, like it didn't look like the characters didn't talk like themselves, didn't behave like themselves, and let me tell you this. Okay, sure, 6 and 7 people didn't realize this, because there were still 2 really good episodes. But I think in season 8, people actually finally understood why, because it was so unexcusable. Like normal people that don't know shit about writing come to me and say, yeah, I would have done this and I would have done this and I would have done this, and it makes much better.
Tell me about pigeons.
Oh my god, man, that's actually.
I have no idea what he's saying though. Oh, the pigeons, Bran.
That is my number 1 reason for why season 8
Wait,
was
crows?
horrible.
You can go. You can. Were they crow? What the? Who gives?
I don't give
It doesn't
fuck.
matter.
Pigeons, man. They're just pigeons.
Wait. There's a difference though. Pigeons are evil.
Yeah,
And
but
crows are not.
Of course not.
That's how I know you're a
They're
communist,
noble.
bro.
What do you
You're
mean?
such a communist.
I don't know.
Go in order. Go in order.
Before you go, I want to
Yeah.
ask a question. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
No.
No.
But
All these pigeons are baby pigeons, and there's one huge pigeon somewhere in the world.
actually, what happens? Why don't we see baby pigeons?
Oh my god, I'm scared.
Why don't we see baby pigeons?
Exactly. Think about it. Go ahead.
Okay.
That's weird though. He's right.
Yeah.
Oh, they're in the nest, bro.
Oh, sure. Okay, let's just go to your theory.
Go on.
Did I touch on 2?
Yeah, you did. You went on
3.
5, 4, 3.
Yeah, so 3 was Euron Greyjoy.
Okay.
2 was just Tyrion. Man, Tyrion went from the best character in Game of Thrones. Like, do you remember every scene
He did
had
have some good bars though. In season 8. Yeah.
I don't think so. I think everything he said in season 8
It was
No.
recycled. He used the same lines.
I don't remember which ones, but like he had some good bars.
But
You're not
okay,
speaking to them.
I'm sure as fuck if I play you
Twisted,
any scene from what's it called seasons 1 to 4 from Tyrion, everything you will hear him say is just gold. Like it's all quotables, you know.
Yeah.
Like he was the guy that when you saw him talk, you were like, shit, that's just amazing. Like please talk more. Now in season 8, whenever he says something, I'm like, please shut the fuck up.
So
Please
true.
just shut the fuck up. What are you saying? That's stupid.
And he hasn't got power either. Like,
Bro,
he has
who
no
has
power
good
in his.
stories?
Bran.
Oh my god.
Literally the uncle that tried to get up and was like, I'm gonna be. I was like, fuck it, let him be. At this point,
Fam.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for real.
Yeah.
And then the season starts off, and you think, oh, Bran, we got Bran on our
Yeah.
side. And then the most
He's a villain.
useless motherfucker you've ever seen. Like, he's
Oh.
got power as well.
Listen, I do
Apparently,
not
anyway.
want anymore. But once they tell him, you want to be king? Why do you think I wheeled all the way over here, bro?
Sansa goes to him.
He doesn't
Yeah.
know anything. Yeah. And then Arya.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me
Right.
started.
Oh, man.
But she's the fan favorite. I can't talk shit
Yeah,
yeah,
about
but
the
no,
fan
yeah,
favorite.
I love Arya. I
shut
still
your
love.
mouth.
No,
I still
fuck
love
Arya.
Arya.
Fuck Arya,
Right?
dude. Fuck Arya.
Arya. The thing is, like, what's Big Dick? Real Big Dick.
Yeah.
Real Big Dick. What's his name?
Bron?
Oh no.
Ron?
Podrick?
Not
Podrick.
Podrick. Sorry, he looks like Podrick. Gendry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Gendry's like, let's link up, dog. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like,
No, but that's a part of her character. She's
But
right, you'd think so, but then later, I'm gonna go on an adventure
and explore and shit.
Like, you
what's
basically,
she supposed to do?
no,
well, the whole point
look
of Arya's
after
arc.
Jon
why
Snow.
did she? Why
Look
did she
after
escape?
someone.
Yeah,
You're
why did
supposed
she
to be the
escape Valor-
physical person, right?
Wait, not just that. Do you know what was her
She's
whole
an
arc? Her whole,
assassin.
yeah, but hold on.
Yeah, exactly, something like that.
Her whole arc was that she fucked off from her family, realized she needs her family, and her whole arc was to go back and protect her family, to be a Stark, to take care of her family. That's what she was. That's what she's been saying for the whole seasons from
But she's
season.
not made for domestic stuff.
But I'm not talking about domestic stuff. She can be like her aunt, Lyanna Stark. She can be a total badass and do badass things.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she
just
doesn't.
don't have those
She's supposed to
human
discover
instinct.
America, dude. Who's gonna discover America?
Bran, because you already seen it. Because he sends pigeons.
Tell us about pigeons, please.
Reason one. Oh, before I go on, Tyrion went from the best well-written character in the show to the worst. And like it's just sad. Like even the actors know this. I saw an interview where the actual Peter Dinklage,
man.
he was like, yeah, Tyrion thought it was a good idea to put everybody in the crypt where all the dead Starks from those time are there. Even though they know the Night King resurrects dead people, Tyrion wasn't very smart after all. Like he's obvious. Like even the actors themselves know this, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just dumb. Anyway, reason number one, Bran. Honestly, fuck Bran. Fuck. I can't. When I saw.
Speak to the mic, speak to the
By the way, let me tell you this. This is an actual story. This is an actual true story. What happened was, I was watching the Night King episode. I was shitting myself. I was like,
Which
oh
one's the
my
Night King episode?
God. Episode 3. I was
Okay.
like, this is gonna be the best episode in Game of Thrones. This is what I've waited 7 years for this. This is gonna be fucking amazing. And then I'm like waiting for Bran to like fulfill his destiny or whatever the fuck. And then he's like, "Oh Theon, I know you're gonna die. By the way,
You've been a good man.
I could like save you and can just tell you to fuck off and whatever. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just go and look at some pigeons. That's it.
Because I want to be king.
Pigeons. That's
Fam.
it. Crows and pigeons. I
What
don't.
do those pigeons do? Like,
Just
no.
eyes. I don't
what
know.
did they mean for it?
Nothing.
Wasn't he not
Can
Bran
I play
anymore?
devil's advocate, man?
Yeah.
Wait.
Like, let's be on their side. What were they doing?
Wasn't he not Bran anymore? He was the third-eyed raven.
Yeah, but now he's Bran the Broken.
Three-eyed raven.
He's now like Sansa's like, Bran, you're the last son of Ned Stark. You have to be the Lord of Winterfell.
Yeah,
No, I'm
well-
the three-eyed raven. Tyrion's like, bro, you gotta be king. Fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's
I'm a
why
big
I'm here,
king.
dog.
Yeah, that's
Daddy
the worst
Stark.
line. That's the worst line in the entire show. Because
Yeah.
what does that imply? That he knew that all that shit's gonna happen?
He's a villain.
I think so as well. I think he's actually the worst cat. I think he's the evil guy.
We all saw the alternate ending where Bran's actually the Night King.
Yes.
That was brilliant, right?
Yes, it makes sense.
Right. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Now
Yeah.
tell me your alternate ending.
To what? The Night King thing.
No.
Picking
The Game of
To
Thrones.
the Game of Thrones.
Honestly, like what we
He's
have.
told me, but disclaimer, he's told me before, so I'm not gonna have reactions. But I think it made a lot more sense than what they had in mind. So let me think. Tell me what you think, Aya. Go on.
Yeah. No, first her. I want
No,
to.
no,
I want to hear what she said.
Have you?
Wow.
I'm preparing myself.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
have you heard it already? You haven't. Exactly. She hasn't heard it. So say
So
it.
about the Bran being the Night King guy.
No, you had an alternate ending.
So I mean, I didn't have to what, the whole show, or like what Arya, with the Arya killing the Night King person.
Yeah, Arya killing the Night King.
I mean, yeah. For example, a lot of like when I watched that, and I the next day I go,
Speaking to
I'm
the
like, the next day I'm like, yeah, that made no sense. How the fuck did Arya manage to jump and pull a
Okay.
Assassin's
First
Creed?
of all,
Yeah.
she for 6 seasons she's been building up to be
Sure.
an assassin, right?
Sure.
To be sneaky. And
Sure.
And to be sneaky, right?
But the
your one, what?
But the
And
problem
the
is.
Night King didn't expect her. He
Okay.
expected Bran.
But
Jon,
he did. He
Dany.
literally saw her, caught her neck, and everything. So the
But
problem
that was
is,
a nice move.
yeah.
That
But
was a-
so the
That was
problem
nice.
is that, so let's just, I'm gonna go with their logic. I'm
I
not
like
gonna go
that
with my
scene.
logic. Not
Okay.
gonna use my own logic.
Okay.
I'm not gonna touch anything actually. So let's say Arya. We know that Arya can face change and shit, right? We've been shown her when she goes and kill the Freys and whatnot, right?
So cool.
That was great.
Well, I don't think so, because in the books it was her mom that was actually.
It's not just the
going
books
against
that makes it good though, man.
Well,
Come
it
on.
made no sense. Arya got to kill the Freys, got to kill the Night King,
The
she
North
got to be the
remembers,
badass.
dude.
She got all the good stuff. Like it's not fair.
But she suffered also.
No.
She thought her family was dead for a long time.
Who suffered
She
more,
had-
Theon Greyjoy or Arya?
Theon was a
He
dickhead.
doesn't have a dick.
He was a dickhead and doesn't have a dick anymore. So.
I don't know, man.
Does he have a dick or not?
No.
All right, go on.
So the problem with so let's say
Arya can face change.
let's say in the actual episode she's first like kills like so many White Walkers and whatever, and she's like with the spear and shit like that. Ooh, look at me, motherfucker, I'm slick and shit. But then she gets hit in the head, and then the writers are like, at that point she needs to be like more sneaky and shit, because she's not like 100% in the brain, right? She's actually weaker. She can't pull the crazy stunts because she gets a concussion, right? Like you see it in the blood when it comes down her face. Like that's what they actually say
Or-
after the episode. No, it's not me saying
Oh,
it.
they
This is
said
what
it?
they say. Literally,
Oh,
this is
okay.
what they say. So, like I said, I'm not inserting my opinion here. So I'm just going by their logic, right? So then what happens was that what happens is then the eye patch man, the one eye patch, which was
Yeah.
one of the coolest
So cool.
side characters, now has to believe that his whole purpose in his life was for that 30 seconds to defend Arya, right?
Died 30 times.
Yeah, 30. Doesn't matter. Like that was his most boring death as well. He's had some much more
Yeah,
interesting
yeah. I
deaths
liked him so
before.
much.
Yeah, same. Another disappointment, and then he dies. Right. My take would be that she goes and actually takes his dead face or whatever and makes herself dead, because we see in the episode of the White Walkers, you know, when she was hiding under the bed and shit, we see that they're like zombies. They can sense the living, but they can't sense themselves, right? So it makes sense, given her logic from the show, that she can just switch her face to a White Walker and she can use his face, because that makes his death more meaningful.
But she wouldn't be White Walker.
Yeah, she
by
would be,
then.
but-
They don't go by looks. I don't think.
No,
It's by
they-
life.
Yeah,
They
exactly. But when she changes it, literally they can't tell anymore. That's the whole logic of the show.
Okay.
Like this is what Valor, Morgulus, and all that
Yeah,
their
yeah,
power.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they literally turn dead. You know what I mean?
True, true.
So I'm saying that she could do that, and then it makes sense for her to sneakily go past all the White Walkers, because they literally can't tell if she's living, right? And that would have made it. Then you can have Jon Snow come try to fight the Night King or whatever, and then you can see
Or
that.
she can just kill.
No. I think it's better for him to fight the Night King, because that's for, again, 7 seasons leading up to it. And then the subversion could be that he can't kill the Night King, and then Arya comes and fucking, does the assassin shit, fucking stabs
Yeah.
him in the back, which is what makes sense, right? But no, we have her from nowhere, literally spawns from like nowhere, like literally spawns, like literally just spawns, right? We don't see her jump, we don't see her do anything. She just spawns, dead. That's it. And he didn't. The worst part is, Night King was one of the most interesting characters that was led up. He doesn't say a word in the show, nothing. We don't know anything about him. What do you know about the Night King?
I do agree. I think he should have been introduced better. But look, I read this theory that says, remember there was this useless scene with Jon Snow screaming at a dragon?
He was screaming at a dragon.
Yeah. Yeah. When before Arya kills the Night King, Jon stands in front of a dragon and screams.
Yeah.
There was this theory that Jon was screaming, "Go."
Go where?
Go to Arya. He was distracting the dead dragon.
Yeah.
And he was screaming, "Go!" So Arya, like, he knew she was going to the Night King, and he was shouting, "Go" to her.
But that's a theory.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a theory. That should be something that literally should be done. Like, it should be shown to us. But it didn't. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, is it the plot armor? Like, everyone had plot armor as well in that episode. No one like the Dothraki, for example, they died. They went extinct. Then like 2 episodes
What the hell
later,
was that?
they come back stronger than ever. What happens to the Dothraki? When Jon Snow kills Khaleesi, he has to be the new Dothraki leader. That's the law of Dothraki.
Not just that. Remember there was a saying, someone said it, only a fool would face Dothraki in an open field.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then they just...
And then the writers in that same episode, when they talk about it, that was the end of the Dothraki as we know it. And then 2 episodes later,
Dothraki's back, baby.
Again, like Arya, they just spawn back in. It's like Call of Duty, just respawn. Fuck it. At this point, why not do it? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a shit show. I think the first episode of the season was the best.
Same.
Because
straight up, I said that from
there
the
was
beginning.
the least
Dialogue
amount of
was great.
Yeah, it was the least amount of bullshit in it.
Yeah.
And it was going somewhere. You know, I
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is a good first episode. Then the second episode.
I
comes.
hated every other episode, man.
Yeah, pretty
Apart from, I did like the Night King one. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I hated
As an Arya fan, I was like, "Go Arya!"
Yeah, but that's the
Bruh.
thing. What happened to Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones was supposed to be not
Not
about fan
pandering
favorites.
to the
it was,
fans.
Exactly. It was not meant
Yeah,
to be.
it's true,
like,
man.
It was not meant to be like what the fans wanted. Like the perfect example. My favorite episode in Game of Thrones
Red
is
Wedding.
Oberyn versus the Mountain.
Oberyn, yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing. That's
That was
just
the best scene.
That's my favorite episode in Game of Thrones. Period. Because
Why
that's
did
how you
they
do
have-
subverting the fans' expectation, right? Because what they did was, which I really like, was that prior to that fight, they build him like this classical traditional hero. You know, the guy.
Yeah, they made us like him.
Yeah, they made us like him, and he had
I
that
will be a
traditional.
warrior.
Yeah, he had like the Aragorn. He had like the
So hot.
I'm a rightful guy. I'm here, and the whole time in the
Bisexual
season,
too.
he was
Yeah.
winning. He was winning. He never lost. He was always one step ahead of everyone. He was doing some crazy
He
stuff.
was always there for a purpose
Exactly. But then the problem was in
as well. You
that-
raped her!
Yeah.
You murdered her!
which is amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
And then in that episode, what happens is we see we know by that point that all our favorite characters will die, right?
Yeah.
Robb Stark gets fucked, Ned Stark gets fucked, like a lot of shit happens. But in that episode, they purposefully did something I really like. They showed us all these good things happening to all our favorite characters.
Exactly. All
right?
men must die.
Yeah, and then and they like, oh look what happened to Sansa. Good things happened to her. Oh look, this is another one of your favorite characters. Good things happened to him, to Tyrion as well. And then we're led to believe that it could be also the same for Oberyn. Exactly. So that's how you do. But then of course it doesn't end that way. But when it does, we actually see him die, we're still shocked. Does that make sense? We're still like, holy shit, even though we knew that was gonna happen, they fucking led us on in a really nice way. That's how you do it. Not the season 8 way where you just introduce shit from out of nowhere. It made sense for him to die because all of the characters in Game of Thrones prior to that point who actually went out for revenge got killed. They got punished. Game of Thrones punished vengeful characters. It punished those traditional hero types. Then Arya comes. She gets to kill everybody. She gets to do all her revenge shit. Why? It makes no sense. You get my point? Like Game of Thrones showed Robb Stark win every fucking battle, but because he's a revengeful person, he got misguided. He forgot. It clouds his judgment. The same for his mother. The same for Ned Stark. The same for Oberyn and all those other characters that went after revenge and vengeance. You know, like the Hound as well. But no, Arya gets to somehow get away with it.
But she like sidetracked by the end and she didn't go after Cersei. That was the only time.
Yeah, but that was so dumb. Why would you we know Arya, she would not go from all the way from one city 6 weeks, 3 weeks of walking to fucking King's Landing and go, yeah, I'm just
See you later.
See you later.
See you later.
See you later. Nope.
bro.
Thanks. Fuck it. Hound, you are right, dog. Even though you could have told me this whole time while we were going there, you could have told me any point. Thanks to tell me at this specific point as the castle is fucking breaking down.
Yeah, but how were they to know that Khaleesi was gonna kill everyone like that?
That's not the point, is it?
Yeah,
Like the Hound could have.
They thought they were gonna walk up the tower, kill them, and go home.
But how did the Hound? Like my point is, when did the Hound realize vengeance not worth it?
Oh yeah.
Like, do you get my point?
Yeah,
like where?
But his death was really cool though.
Nope.
Him dying with fire after his
yeah,
fear
that
of
was
fire.
cool. But see, that was one of the things I was looking the most forward to in Game of Thrones, and they still somehow fucked that up. Because yeah, sure they fought and shit,
And
but
it looked cool.
It looked really cool. There was like a moment where there was a dragon
Yeah.
behind them. I was like, holy shit, this is cool. But then I think about it later, and I'm like, I wish that fight was longer. I wish that they were on fair ground. I wish that there was more emotion to it. Because then I look to the Oberyn and the Mountain one, and that's much better.